If you're a dad in your late 30s or 40s with a demanding job and want to get genuinely fit in 12 weeks without giving up alcohol, without training 5 times a week, and without meal prepping on a Sunday like you've got all the time in the world, like a 20-year-old who still lives at home with his mum, then watch this video and I'll show you exactly how you can do that. Hi, I'm Glenn. I'm an online fitness coach, and as you can tell by this seat here, which despite the fact that I'm under 6 foot is not for me, I am a dad. Probably tell by the bags under my eyes as well. And I'm not some coach who's just come fresh out of the course and still lives at home with his mum. I've got a few years on the clock, as you can see from my lovely hairdo. I've spent over 10 years in corporate L&D, traveling all over the world, meaning that I have a good understanding of what it's like to juggle responsibilities at home, responsibilities at work with a team, and try and keep fit at the same time. Throughout all of that, I've still maintained a competitive edge in powerlifting, high rocks, CrossFit, and running too. Look, you can take all the lessons from this video and run with it and do it yourself. I'm not going to gatekeep it behind some sort of sales page. All that I ask is that you watch it all the way through, because the thing that's keeping you stuck is probably not the thing that you think it is. Before I get into the training and nutrition side of things, I want to tell you exactly what's waiting for you in this video. If you stay with me, I'm going to show you exactly how you can build a plan for your life that suits your travel schedule, your work commitments, and most importantly, your family commitments too. So is this right for you? Let me be specific, because it might not be for everyone. This is for dads, late 30s, early 40s, demanding career, pretty much no time. I mean, I'm shooting this whilst my baby's napping. You're not a beginner, you know your way around a gym, you know what a deadlift is, you've downloaded MyFitnessPal and used it on and off for the last few years, and you've probably downloaded quite a few different apps and off-the-shelf training plans that haven't really worked for you. Your evenings belong to your family, not the gym. You don't have all the time in the world to work out. You're a capable person. You took on all this responsibility at work, you've progressed through the career ladder, and with that, the responsibility of raising a family, somewhere in the middle of all of it, you lost that consistency that you built up before that. And if you need something that fits the life that you have now, not the life that you had when you were 20 years old, then this is definitely for you. But let me be clear about what it's not. It's not for someone who wants a 6-week shred. If you're looking for a silver bullet, a supplement stack, this isn't for you either. And if I'm being brutally honest, if you're not honest with yourself about where you are now, and you're not self-aware, willing to learn, then this isn't for you. So let me describe a few moments and see if they sound familiar. It's Sunday evening, you open up your fitness app, you notice that you might have missed a couple of sessions that week. You say, right, you know what, I'll start tomorrow. Guess what? You have a rubbish night's sleep, the kids are up 2 or 3 times, you wake up tired, you sack the gym off, you then get into work, have a long day, you think, actually, I'm going to try and go after work. Doesn't happen because the kids demand your time from about 4 p.m. I mean, I really miss having evenings. And then you go, you know what, I'm going to do it tomorrow. The next day comes, busy day at work, travel, the next day. Gets to another Sunday and you realize that you've managed to fit in maybe just one gym session and you feel like you failed. So you tell yourself, I'll go again next week. The problem is, it's always next week. And you get into this self-loathing of, oh, maybe fitness isn't for me, maybe I'm never going to be as fit as I used to be, because you just missed one session, because you're used to a perfect plan and being so rigid with it that when it doesn't flex to your life, it doesn't work. You've got a couple of kids, you're chasing around the garden, just about keeping up with them. So you can still get away with it, but you're still worried about that sports day coming up and how you might look in front of other parents. So whilst it's okay for now, you're worried about the gap widening in the future. And I know you don't want to be that dad who has to say no because they're feeling tired and can't run around and play with their kids, because that's impacting their childhood. And you don't want to be that guy. So picture it in 12 months' time if where you are doesn't change. Same tiredness, same snappiness with the kids because you haven't slept well, and the same problems over and over again of starting every Monday, flying by the seat of your pants, eating whatever you fancy, and then realizing that I don't have the energy to even perform at work anymore. And if you find yourself getting out of breath with kids now, imagine how much worse that's going to be in 12 months' time when they're even more active and you're less active. And that gap between now and 12 months' time isn't bad luck. It's one decision. It's a decision to take control of your health, your fitness, not just for you, but for your family's sake too. So the plan I built is called the Reclaim Method. The reason why it's called Reclaim is because it's the idea of reclaiming the fitness that you once had, or at least reclaiming the version of yourself that you wanted to be before the demanding job, the kids, and the family, the mortgage, everything else just got in the way. So what I'm about to walk you through is the same framework I use with every single client that gets them results, not just in the 12 weeks, but for long-lasting behavior change. Let me just talk to you about 3 guys who've gone through the program and the results that they've seen. First is Sean. He's a corporate professional. He's a loving dad to 2 beautiful children. And when he first started with me, he was worried that it'd be too much too soon. He tried these sort of things before and he had sort of militant personal trainers and he just burnt out, did it for a couple of weeks and then piled the weight back on because it just didn't suit his life. Whereas since being in the program, in just 6 weeks, he's gone from 109 kilos to 102. And then we have Luke. He's a leadership consultant and he travels around the UK a lot for work. And he'd done programs like this before where he'd lost weight really quickly, then piled it back on. And he was really skeptical about joining another coaching program. Now that we're 6 weeks in, Luke has lost over a stone. But again, similar to Sean, the weight loss isn't the biggest win. The biggest win is that he feels it's sustainable and it's how he feels in himself. Beforehand, he didn't used to wear shirts because he's worried about the fat rolls coming over the trousers. Whereas now he's actually buying shirts, feeling comfortable, and when he's standing up in a room full of leaders, he feels respected. And then the third client is James. James is a dad of 4, which is crazy and a workout in itself, if you ask me. Always had a demanding job, traveling a lot. And whilst he had been training for a long time, he did hockey back in university, he was worried that he could never get back to that same fitness because of all the demands that his life now has. And because I understand the travel commitments, having spent 10 years in the corporate world traveling all over Europe, and I'm a parent, I understood the challenges he had. So we created a nutrition plan that worked for him, really simple 30 to 40 minute workouts that could be done in his lunch break in a hotel gym with minimal equipment to keep him on track when life kept throwing him curveballs. As a result, he feels like he is now the best dad and best husband that he can be because he has more energy, more time because he's not spending an hour and a half in the gym, and his relationship with food is much, much better. So we've looked at all the reasons why what you've done before hasn't worked. Now let's look at what will work for you. The training, nutrition, and progression that's going to help you to reclaim that fitness that you thought you'd lost. So let's start with training. Most men are told, especially on Instagram, to train 5 or 6 times a week or they won't see any results. Or do an hour and a half in the gym doing crazy body part splits. Chest and tris on a Monday, back and bis on a Tuesday, legs on a Wednesday, which conveniently you always miss. And the problem that we have with that is we don't have the time, overly fatiguing, doing a bit of junk volume that we don't need. And let's say you miss a session because, I don't know, the kids are up all night or they're up earlier than they should be, so you've missed your morning session. It could be another 2 weeks before that muscle group has seen work. Usually the legs that you end up missing. You never really miss chest and tris, funnily enough. So I've built a method where you do 45-minute sessions, 3 times a week, full body. That means if you do miss a session, if life gets in the way, you've still done 2 really good sessions, and provided we're training with the right intensity, that's all you need to see growth. We focus on big lifts, squat, a hinge movement, a push, a pull, and a bit of arms because, well, you need some arms. It's simple movements done well. Like any good pub menu, if you see 20 different things on there, you're probably not going to have a good time. I like to focus on some core movements done really well. You remember Sean, mentioned him earlier? He does this in his lunch break. 3 30-minute workouts, and that's what's taken him from 109 to 102 with much better physique and understanding of his body's movement as well. So now let's look at nutrition. So typically we're told to cut carbs if you want to cut weight. Yeah, okay, that can work, but you and I both know there's a better way to do that. For someone with client dinners, family restaurant meals out, and your kids' leftovers, unless you're eating them off the floor, we're going through that phase at the moment and it's pretty rough. You know that having a strict meal plan isn't going to work for you. So you need something that's flexible, and that is why I've built the system that I have. We've built a unique 3-2-1 system that allows you to have the odd treat, even the odd beer, but also giving you the knowledge to know how it flexes depending if you're getting a Tesco meal deal, if it's a restaurant out, whatever it might be, it flexes with you and still gets you the results. So this isn't a diet as such. It's not a fad. It's not Atkins or Weight Watchers or fucking Slimming World. It is real knowledge, real science-backed data for you to have the tools to be able to do it yourself forever. And finally, progression. This is where everyone goes wrong. They go too fast, too hard, too soon, which means they go really hard for 3 weeks. They eat like a saint. They train really hard like an Olympic athlete. and then they drop off a cliff when one session gets missed, or they have one pizza and realize that actually it tastes pretty good, and then they end up eating 2 Domino's, full tub of Ben & Jerry's, and some sweets as well. Then they sack it all off. I don't like that approach. The way that I progress the workouts, the intensity, the nutrition, everything is building bit by bit. So we ease you in first. The first week is always a ramp up week, understanding what you're eating at the moment, understanding your step goals, understanding your movement, and then we tweak accordingly. Because if I just give you something to do, like a really strict meal plan straight away, A, you're not going to do it. B, you're going to get pissed off at me. And C, 3, it's going to be too fast, too much, too soon. Instead, with the Reclaim method, we build what's called your floor. This is your bare minimum. So even on those rough travel weeks or really heavy work weeks, you know that if you've hit the bare minimum, you've had an okay week, and that's fine. And by giving you 45-minute sessions, by giving you the tools to create your own nutrition guidance and plan and knowledge, and by having clear progression, you're able to be flexible when life throws you curveballs. So if you do have a couple of days where you've eaten more than you should have, you couldn't track because you were out for a client dinner or a conference, you can snap back into it really quickly. And that's what life is going to be like for you forever. So you may as well learn the tools to get you there. Every one of those results has got one thing in common. Those plans were not generic off-the-shelf plans. It was a program where I meticulously understood your life, your work schedule, your travel, your family commitments, so that when life did throw you curveballs, it was already planned for. It was a flexible program that fitted their lives. And at every step of the way, they had someone in their corner, not just badgering them to do things or tell them to stop eating that, but to be there to support them and be there for any questions they might have. And Sean actually put it best. He said, Glenn's not screaming at you at 5:30 in the morning like David Goggins, but if you start sodding it off, there's going to be questions asked. And that's exactly how I coach. So what else is in the Reclaim offer? Well, you'll have a 7-day check-in that's one-to-one with me after a really rigid onboarding process, so I understand everything that's going on with you. We'll then have a 4-week, 8-week, and 12-week check-in call, as well as check-ins via my dedicated training app that houses all of the nutrition, all of your steps, your training, everything's in there, so you only have one place that you need to be updating. I also have group coaching calls where you're part of a community of like-minded individuals getting after it, supporting each other, and they're even supporting each other without me saying anything, which just shows you how strong that community is. But most importantly, you have someone in your corner. I will always be at the end of the phone to be messaged about anything that you might have, whether you're in a restaurant and want to understand what the best thing to eat is, whether you're in a gym and a piece of equipment's been used and you need an alternative. I'm there to help and support you to give you the best results possible, not just in the 12 weeks, but beyond. So if you're serious about getting your energy back, reclaiming your fitness, and being the dad that your kids are going to be proud to say, that's my dad, in a crowd, then this is your moment. You can book a quick call with me with the link below. It's no sales pitch. At the very least, I will just get to understand your life and give you some real clear advice and next steps as to what you can do. And if you want to work together, fantastic, congratulations. But at the very least, you can take the plan and run with it and never speak to me again. I only take on a few number of clients each month just to make sure that I don't dilute the service and I give everyone as much one-to-one attention as possible. Because I won't palm you off into another coach. That's me pretending that I have another coach. It is literally just me. But at the same time, it means that you get all of my attention. And that's why I only take on a few clients every month. Click the link below, book a call, and let's see if the moment for you is right now. Thanks for watching.